Yo, there's been some wild allegations getting thrown out left and right over the weekend, with those and the back and forth and all the fallout being one of the most requested stories to talk about today. Right at the center of all this, you have MrBeast, Ava Tyson, Dr. Disrespect, Nickmercs, a bunch of names that you may or may not be familiar with. Right, as far as MrBeast, obviously biggest creator in the world, and Ava Tyson's been a part of the MrBeast crew from the beginning, with MrBeast having to once again, like he's done in the past throughout her transition, defend Ava online. With this most recent example of that stemming from a video posted by Nickmercs. And he's a very big gaming streamer, though I would say definitely over this past year, with more and more of his anti-trans talk, he's gotten a lot more attention. And he tweeted to Ava, "You should be ashamed of yourself, leaving behind your wife and child to play pretend. One day you'll wake up and realize what you've done." Or which was his reaction to a tweet from Ava earlier, saying, "Me every time I post on Twitter."
My mentions are he, they, she, hey, they.
And so Nick's tweet, it garnered a lot of reactions, including from Ava herself, who replied the quote, "Protect the kids crowd when someone is a loving parent versus when their boy is currently facing SA accusations." Right, and that seemingly referencing the fact that Nickmercs has been defending Dr. Disrespect against recent allegations that he was inappropriately messaging a minor. Right, because it was a claim from a former Twitch employee over the weekend that Doc was permanently banned from Twitch because that happened. With Dr. Disrespect responding to that multiple times over the weekend, saying, "I get it, it's a hot topic, but this has been settled, no wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract." And later tweeting, "Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday." And today, during that live stream, he said, "For those that are looking me to expand on what I said this weekend, that's not happening." Saying that he said what he already needed to say. And adding, "I don't give a fuck about this guy. That's it." But that said, going back to the Ava and Nickmercs stuff, one of the biggest responses there was from MrBeast himself, saying Ava is literally always with her kid and doesn't even go on shoots to spend more time with him. Tuckman is always smiling. Not sure why this rumor is a thing. And as you can imagine, when the biggest creator on the platform chimes in on something, it becomes an even bigger conversation. Whether it be people on the side of how dare MrBeast say that, or upset with the fact that he's friends with, supports, and features a trans woman in his content. But this is there were also a ton of others loving what MrBeast said here, saying things like his constant defense of Ava is very nice to see, saying this matters especially for the next generation, arguing with Jimmy's influence and reach to young boys, this stuff is going to be his most important legacy, and others chiming in saying, "I know some will say, oh, this is just the bare minimum, but I feel like in today's climate, having one of the most famous people on the planet stand up for his friend and supporting her identity and existence is extremely important and impactful." And actually the proof of this climate and of the fact that MrBeast really is doing something that can make a difference or challenge people's belief is the amount of transphobia in his replies, or just the sheer number of people saying vile things about him and Ava everywhere online. And with that, Ava even writing, "They just want to villainize trans people. They realize and accept that I'm in my child's life arguably more than most parents are able to be. They say I'll ruin him or far worse things. They don't actually care. They want to move the goalpost so they can go see trans people bad." And this whole situation got so big and it spread so wide that Ava's ex even had to chime in. Right, Katie, Ava's ex and co-parent, releasing a statement saying, "There are plenty of other things in this world to talk about other than a 4-year-old who will one day see all of this. Our lives are the best they've ever been, and Tucker is loved and cared for by both parents and in both homes and is thriving." I don't know who Nick is and I don't care who he is, but as a parent himself, is this the example we want to set for our children? When we don't agree with someone, we bash them, their families, drag others' children through the trenches by spreading false information about their lives. Be better, set better examples. But ultimately, as of filming, that is where we are with this. And of course, like with all our stories, because this is a news show, but I also want it to be a conversation, I'd love to hear from you in those comments down below. Where do you stand on this and why?